Good evening. I'm having trouble sleeping. My days and my nights are completely screwed up. I've done so much driving back and forth this weekend. I'm going to put a video on my post page. It's called Dave's Eats. And it's this guy out of London. And all he does is go around and eat at different restaurants. And I thought it was really interesting because he takes a drive up to Kettle Point. And that is the same drive I take every time I go up there. And if you watch the video, you'll see him turn a corner and go down a road. And he makes a left into a restaurant. Now, if you keep going straight down that road, it goes straight into Lake Huron. And that's where my daughter's place is. That's where my old place was. And I drive there at least once or twice a week. And this week, I've been going like crazy because of the wedding. Because there's nothing up there. So the closest is London. And I also stopped by, was it Saturday, we stopped by Victoria Park. There was a big Hindu thing going on. There was tons of food. So we picked up a bunch of East Indian takeout and brought it up there with us. It was a fun weekend, but I'm exhausted. My days and nights are completely screwed up. Anyway, I got to thinking about the live I did earlier. And I thought, you know what? I need to tell you my real feelings about Drunkter. Well, first of all, I really don't give a shit about a lot she says because everything she says is so repetitive. But I feel sorry for her. I mean, that woman must have had a terrible life. She had to have. There's no way anybody could be as messed up as she is and so desperate for attention that she actually has a YouTube show, and the only reason she does it is to piss people off. And I think, she thinks she's pissing me off. And it's not. To me, it's just, she's like a child. Is what she's like to me. She needs a psychiatrist, that's for sure. I've never seen anybody so unhappy and so passive aggressive and cunty. You know why she cries so much, don't you? Is because she's unhappy. She either goes from one extreme to the next. She's happy, she loves her life, then she's bawling. And it's really not like a cry that a normal person would have because they were hurt or upset. It's like a baby trying to work its feelings out. When you're an adult, you don't cry like that. You cry like an adult. Your feelings are worked out, but they're hurt. Darlene cries out of frustration. And I guess she said it tonight. She's going to drink herself to death, which doesn't surprise me. Her dad did the same thing. I mean, there's things that I get angry about her with, which is the fact that she's, cancer. Like, there's so many people in the world that have cancer. And billions of dollars are spent on research and making sure people get the proper help they need. And yet she went through all of that. Like, I'll bet you her bill was close to $100,000, if not, I'll bet you. I know it would have been over here. And then she went right back on drinking and being a smarmy bitch. And I think to myself, that money could have been much better spent because she doesn't appreciate it. There's things that I feel sorry for her about, like she's living in a household that she's extremely unhappy in. And she has to constantly tell herself, I love my life. Yet her dog won't come near her. She did that on her own due to a few years ago when she started kicking it in the cage. And her husband, he can't stand to be around her. That's pretty apparent. And how she doesn't even have an adult relationship. It's a relationship like a dad and a child. She'll die before she ever emotionally becomes an adult. And she's so desperate for attention. She'll subject her entire family to her bullshit. And all she cares about is her and her YouTube channel. Definitely has an addictive personality. One of the things that Chuck and I always talked about with her is like how Marty puts up with that. And I always say to Chuck, look, they've been together 20 years. Like, I'm sure he's got some feelings for her. But anymore, not a lot. He stopped telling her he loves her. That trick she's got. I mean, he's come online calling her a fucking drunk. Argues with her all the time. Avoids her. Like, it's not good. And here she's going through cancer. Potential cancer starting again in her body. And she will not give it up. No matter what, she will not give it up. She's going to be a stubborn old sow no matter what way you look at it. I honestly believe that there's a chance at this point in time that Marty's just thinking, what type of person would I be if I divorced her right now? I don't think there's any love there on his part. It's just he's not going to divorce her. He's not a cruel person. I mean, who would do that? If you had a partner you had for 20 years, even though that partner was just not somebody you loved anymore, and you knew they had cancer, would you divorce them during cancer? No, you wouldn't. And I think that's where Marty's at. Marty's just at the point now, it's like, I'd be a real asshole if I divorced her. So he tolerates it. And that can't be easy. Or Marty could just be at the point where he's going, if I divorce her, then I won't get the insurance money. And I wouldn't blame him. He's put up a lot with her. She is so far out of it at this point that her life is complete fantasy. You know, she acts like she's from Okeechobee. She lived in Okeechobee 4 or 5 years. All she is some barfly that hangs off the end of a bar. And people that communicate with her don't have the nerve to tell her those things. They just fuck off. Even her religious views, when she speaks, she believes she's going to heaven. I think she's going to be in for a bit of a surprise. And if this is the way they act and communicate when they're online, I could just imagine what it's like when they're not. So yeah, I feel sorry about that. I feel, I feel bad that she got addicted to alcohol to the degree she did. I feel sorry that she never lived anywhere but Florida, for fuck's sakes. In the swamp. And that to her is like living in heaven. It's not really. She just doesn't know any better. She's had no other experience. And I thought to myself, how lonely do you have to be night after night on YouTube or Messenger drunk dialing people? It's pretty sad at 63 years old. And I really truly think she believes that once she passes away, that people are going to look back and go, oh, look, she was such a nice person. I don't know what she thinks. But I guarantee you, all that's going to happen is her family is going to be on the phone with Marty going, get that fucking channel down. And Marty's never going to want to look at it again. What an absolute waste of a life. She's got no kids to help her. Her family doesn't want to help her. And I think she's done so much wrong in her life that she's completely invented who she is as a person so that she can live with herself. So, like, for instance, her saying she watched her mother die for 25 years and she took care of her mother, which is an absolute lie. There's several photos of her mother in a care home and several photos of her family going to visit her mother. And there's like a couple of Dar. That's it. And then Dar got on one night drunk and let the cat out of the bag and told everybody that she was so drunk when her family called her to tell her mother was passing away. She was so drunk she couldn't go to see her. Now, personally, I think I would have took a cab, but and the way she talks and treats her family, I think she is just at the point that she cannot face the truth. So what she does is pretend she was this wonderful, loving daughter and family member. So it's just sad to me. Oh, and change the subject a bit here. June, I know you're listening. And I thought about you this weekend. And I thought, you know what? You remember those old utensil sets? They were stainless steel. And you get like the ladle and the big spoon and the soup thingy. And you get a giant meat fork with them. That is perfect for scratching between your legs and getting, because I mean, it's hot out. And without that big old apron you got going on there, I know you can't reach under there. Well, with that thing, if you kind of wrapped it with all that toilet paper you bought, you could really get in there and dig. You should really, really get one of those. I don't know if they make a clinical tool for that, but with the weather we're having, the heat, you walking around and the friction going on between the fat between your two legs, Yeah, it might be a good thing to get one of those. Because, Jesus, that's got to smell. I mean, with you eating the way you eat and the crap you eat and laying back in that chair, it's got to be pretty gross down there. I imagine you've got yeast infections under those rules. It's got to be so itchy. I mean, unless you got somebody coming over to clean you up. But yeah, that meat fork, that would really work good for that. Get right in there. Get all that gunk out of there. Doesn't that stink? It's gotta stink. I mean, all the crap you eat, the smell that must come out of your body. Ugh. And I know you're so fixated on me and trying to change your story. That's not going to work. Everybody knows that the whole reason you got that fat is because of what your dad did to you. The whole reason that you've only had one man in your entire life. Reason you have no children. When's the last time you had sex? 40 years ago? And of course, you call your dad daddy. He's your daddy. He's your special daddy, isn't he? See, the thing you don't understand, June, is there's thousands of women like you out there that had diddler daddies. I mean, you're talking about a father that was so stupid that he let you live in a nuclear danger zone because he was too stupid to understand to move. And I mean, let's face it, Greek peasants, they couldn't find a woman, they were fucking the goats. That's why you started putting on that weight so nobody would look at your body, meaning him. That's why you became depressed. Because you couldn't tell mommy, right? You had to keep it a secret inside. That's why you developed all these personality disorders. And that's why you're trying to put that on me. You've done it from the very beginning. Your fake video about my dad and this article that never materialized. And you're trying it again. Because in your mind, it's the most awful thing you could imagine. Because you know what it feels like. And you hate me, so you wanted to put it on me. Doesn't take a friggin' psychiatrist to figure you out, June. And you're another one that's like two different personalities. You're bipolar, just like Dar. And you've convinced yourself that your family loves you so much that they don't mind taking care of somebody that's 400 fucking pounds. I guarantee you, when they're talking to each other, they're like, oh my God, who's going to end up having to take June in? You know, there's these things called stretchers. They're like these elasticized bands and they've got hoops at the end. And even while you're laying there, like you should buy a couple instead of wasting all your money on the internet buying stupid books and shit that you buy. Buy yourself a couple of those. Try to do something to make yourself feel better, because you and Darlene's technique of hating on everybody else, it doesn't really cut it. It just makes you mentally more unhinged. I feel sorry for you too, June. Never went anywhere. You don't know what it's like to dress up and walk into a room full of people and have somebody ask you to dance that isn't married to one of your sisters. You don't know what it's like to have friends off the internet or have a real job, because you couldn't keep a single one of your jobs. You were a shitty employee anyway. No, you let your life get away from you, and you resent anybody that didn't. You record everything I say, which I think's hilarious, because you can't get me out of your head. You're addicted to me. I don't have to talk about you every fucking time I come on the internet. But I gotta admit, I do like to every once in a while. Because I know how bad it fucks with your head. You ought to look up the reason why molested little girls get fat, what the side effects are, how they appear as grown women. Because you fit the bill, honey. You're like Darlene. Remember when Darlene used to do her ridiculous laugh? You do the same thing. You guys are so much alike. I think that's why it bothers you to listen to her because it's like listening to yourself. You sure are a funny old bag. The truth is, you would love to be my age, and you would love to have the physical capabilities I have. You would love to be a member of society. None of it. You're none of it. And you tell yourself, oh, I like being alone. You don't like being alone. You just no longer know how to get along with people and socialize with people. It's the way Darlene's getting too. Darlene's saying that she's friends with that blonde bimbo. No, those are Marty's friends. Dar sits there late at night, drunk, dialing anybody that'll answer. Don't you remember when Betty Furbag had to tell her to stop that? Oh, I was so glad to see that Petty Furball decided not to put the children on display. And I just laugh my ass off how whenever any of you try to bring up anything about, oh, I'm a good person because, it's all like 20 and 30 years ago you did those things. You don't do shit now. You're too fucked up in the head and you've let your bodies go to the point that they're just sitting like blobs of lard waiting for your heart to explode. And all the lies you tell, it's what you are. You're the one that's fat. You're the one that has family that tolerates you because you're a burden. Just like Dar. They got to take care of me because I'm fucked in the head. That's how you are too, June. It's a very, very sad situation to see grown women who want respect that describe their fathers as their daddies at 65 and 63 years old. See, I've listened to all you women long enough that I've got a good grip on what you are. You're just a bunch of old MAGA meemaws that are not enjoying your retirement years. You know, June, you could get in the elevator, go downstairs, and make it a point to walk so far every day. You could switch out those donuts for fruit. There's so many little things that you could do to make yourself feel good. But instead, you're on YouTube watching the most ridiculous channels and you think you're insightful. What's that one that what's her name always uses? Deflecting or projecting. You're projecting your life on me. You're not talking about me. Like, is there any way you can maybe take a bit of a vacation? Like, see something other than Enola, Pennsylvania? Or do something to get yourself talking to other people. Like, do the call-in center thing. Not because you need the money, but because it will get you talking to people. Because all you and Darlene are doing is sitting there putting yourself into early graves. Darlene with her alcohol, and you with your pills and your alcohol. I mean, you guys don't even know how to drink properly. Have a drink. You don't enjoy an alcoholic beverage. A 65-year-old woman taking vodka shots? Really? Classy. Dar drinking cheap beer, and she thinks it makes her look better because she drinks it out of a dollar store glass. Like, did you ever think of making yourself a nice drink and enjoying it? Now, I've never seen you eat, June, but I've seen Dar, and Jesus Christ, like, that has got to be the grossest thing going. I don't even think that woman chews her food. I feel sorry for you guys. Doesn't matter to me about your stupid videos. Because they mean nothing. Nothing on YouTube matters. But it sure is sad whenever anybody thinks Dar, they think a drunk old bitch lying and crying in an abusive relationship. Whenever anybody thinks June Black, they think a big fat slob on an old recliner chair with a sheet over it, shoving donuts down her, and recording Cynthia Vise Montgomery's videos, and then acting like an ass clown. You haven't gotten a single subscriber. You're addicted to me, just like Darlene is. And you're not going to be able to stop, and you're not going to be able to get me out of your head. Which is sad. But I will tell you this much. Once I'm done having this cigarette, and I drink a giant glass of ice water, I'm going to put on a movie and forget all about you bitches. And tomorrow, I'm going to get up. I'm going to take a shower. Going to have a cup of coffee. And I'm going to do a little bit of shopping. Night night now.